Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Shift Now for December 5th to December 7th, 2022. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Arlene Grace, and I am a spiritual coach. I am a master numerologist, an alchemist, and a conscious channel. If you are just landing in on the call, welcome. I invite you to say hello, comment in the chat, let me know that you are here. I invite you to allow your minds to be open, to allow yourself to be activated with the information as it's channeled information, and yet at the same time to discern what is true for you. To know that as you are arriving onto this message, to watch it either live or on the replay. Good morning, Joanne. That there is no time for this video. And so if you are attracted to the video, it may be because there's a message here for you. Hello, Heidi. How are you? All right. So it's December 5th. I'm curious about how your weekend was, what you experienced this weekend. I know I experienced some great shifts in my own perceptions, my own perspectives, landing in deeper into the value of who I was, who I am, what my expression is in the world. And so I'm curious about all of you, what rose up for you during this weekend. We've now shifted into the energy of the clubs, which means we've shifted from focus in the body, in the material, in our value, and we're now taking those shifts that we've experienced back into the mind so that we can integrate it, right? We're in this December month, which is that of the 9. And so there are these themes that are rising up for this month, which is that of illumination. There's going to be a revealing both in the collective, in the world, in your community, and within your own lives, right? And so are you open to seeing more? Are you open to seeing something that will activate or trigger a deeper truth for you? Right? We can have these experiences within our own bodies, within our own connection with others, within our own business. And so are you open to seeing what is falling away and what is at the same time coming into creation as we move our focus into the direction of what we're wanting to experience in our life, right? We are choosing life. Good morning, everyone. And so there's this feeling that there's this impact that we're going to start to see in the collective, in our own lives, from decisions that were made back before 2020, perhaps during 2020. And we may see some truths arising from some of those decisions, whether personally or in the collective, or because we decided to go and choose things that the collective was moving in the direction of, right? We know everything that happened in 2020 and beyond and forward. And so we'll start to see impacts from that. We'll start to see deeper truths. There is a shocking energy, which is here to allow for you to be activated. And so allow yourself to be in the flow of life. Right? Allow yourself to be moved with the changes that are happening here and to know that you are safe. And so there's this invitation to pay attention to your own body, to pay attention to your own nervous system, right? Because some of these things are allowing for you to deepen your own sense within your body, to feel grounded within your own body, to be centered within your own mind. As we move into today's energy, it feels like the theme that we have for this week is, am I in flow with my life? Am I in integrity with my life? And am I willing to lean into a deeper sense of discernment, right? And so we'll move through those themes as we move into today's forecast. And so today we move into the club's energy. We move into King of Clubs 5. And so as we feel into the King of Clubs, as I was tuning into the energy of the King of Clubs, there was this king and he was looking at his kingdom. And he's like, I am the king of the castle, right? I am the king of the castle. I am the ruler of this land. And I am the leader of my life. I'm the leader of my experience of life. And I lead through my own example, not through being the authority. And so just listen to that for a second. I lead through the example, not through being the authority in my life, not through being the authority for others. And so we're navigating a deeper sense of our own labels, of how we identify ourselves in our lives. There's this deeper sense that we will be unmasking even more, right? And noticing where we may be lending ourselves to be in experiences where we are still creating a sense of codependence, where we have others coming to us to be fixed, to be helped, to be nurtured, to be loved. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things, but noticing where we're doing it from a space where we are being loved, where we are now allowing ourselves to be validated for it, ourselves being validated for itself. I'm not even making sense. There's so much energy moving through. So as we are coming into this place where we are unmasking at a deeper level, we're noticing the nuances within our own relationships. Where are we allowing ourselves to stay in relationship where we are fixing, helping others because we need it in order to be loved, in order to be validated? The King of Clubs is the authority of their own lives. They are the master of their own emotions. They are the master of knowing where to focus their own energy. They are not taken away by their own thoughts because they understand that their thoughts do not identify who they are. They don't identify with them. And because they are the leader, the master of their own frequency, of their own alignment, they are well aware of where their thoughts may be taking them into the past, where their thoughts may be taking them out of alignment, and they stop themselves in the moment, right? And they come back into their own alignment. They come back into the flow of the higher essence that's moving through them. They come into knowing, oh, my mind is going away and it's moving into a story of the past, which is now creating this emotion that's happening within my own body. And rather than playing with that thought, rather than playing with that emotion, I'm going to come back into the alignment of me and be in integrity with who I am, who I know myself to be, so that I continue to move forward in the experience that I'm wanting to have, right? And so we're moving through today with this initiation of higher value. We're moving in this direction where we are coming into a deeper sense of what is flow within my own emotions. And so flow in our own emotions is the ability to allow emotions to simply flow through the body, to not necessarily identify ourselves with those things. And there's this invitation to take action on behalf of your own value, right? You've taught me to come back to alignment. Oh, I love that, Joanne. Beautiful. Yeah. And so as we're coming into this, the key here is to notice, and we begin the week with this awareness, where I am giving and I am receiving love. We're coming into a deeper understanding of what unconditional love actually means. That love can only be unconditional. And that we stop ourselves from allowing ourselves to receive and to give unconditional love because we get scared. Anything outside of unconditional love, where we close ourselves off. And so notice where sometimes we get triggered and we close our hearts. We can actually feel the closing in our hearts, right? I can feel in the group. Some of us do that. I know that I have, right? We're having an experience. We don't like it. We could be with a love partner, we could be with our kids, and suddenly our heart closes and we stop. And we're triggered into that feeling where we stop giving love from our hearts. And many of those times it's because there is this underlying fear that stops us from just continuing to express it. So imagine anything outside of unconditional love has this underlying energy of fear, both in giving and in receiving. And I can feel it starting to activate some of us in the group where we are also afraid to receive love. And so noticing our relationships, noticing where we are staying in the drama in our relationships, noticing where we are still contributing based on this label and how we identify ourselves in our relationships, in our own mind, to ourselves. I should be doing better. I would have done better if I had known better. Where we're keeping ourselves in blame, where we're keeping ourselves in shame. But all of this from the mind. All of this from an idea that we should be something more. And so to be in this place of flow, that's a running theme this week, it's noticing where we are holding on, where we are resistant to things falling away. It's this interesting energy that's happening this month for us, where sometimes in the flow of life, people are just simply flowing out of our life. And yet some of us hold on, some of us don't feel that aversion, some of us try to fix what's happening around that person, and this is an example, that person that's falling away, in order to have them be attracted back to us, and so we change ourselves. And so it's noticing that there are things, there are experiences, there are people, there are aspects of your business, there are aspects of your life, aspects of your kingdom that are simply falling away so that they can be transmuted into something more. This entire week, this entire month is being held in this container of the law of cause and effect. Understanding that you are the cause, understanding that it is all based on your alignment, all based on your own energy, where you are focusing your thoughts, what you want to experience. We are playing with the law of action, taking the inspired action on behalf of that, meaning integrity. We're playing with quantum entanglement and where we may be enmeshed with others, whether that's in our family, with our partner, in community, with the world. And we're playing with the law of vacuum, right? Where when we create this transmutation with our own body, when we let someone simply flow out of our life, we create space for what we're actually wanting to experience. And so the King of Clubs here is inviting you to pay attention to, where are you focused? Where are you directing your thoughts? Are you willing to lead through example? Are you willing to take that inspired action, even in and through the uncertainty? And are you willing to flow with the changes that are actually happening in your life? Because everything is always changing. Nothing stays the same. In fact, the more we try to keep things the same, the more things start to fall away. And it's our own resistance which creates our own suffering. So today it's noticing, what will I choose to animate? What will I choose to focus on with my own thoughts? Will I lead by example for myself? And will I walk beyond the fear? Will I notice where I close my heart to myself and to others? Will I notice where I close myself from receiving from life, from myself and others, right? Good morning, everyone. Yeah. And so it's a beautiful day to come into these awarenesses, right? Monday is always about awareness, but this 5 is also inviting you to choose, because the 5 that's coming in with the King of Clubs is all about freedom. It's about play. It's about unconditional love. It's about the ability to feel all and be one with all of it, and yet at the same time not be influenced by it, because you understand your own energy, you understand your own essence, you understand why you are here, which is to experience life, to choose life, right? To thrive in it, not to spend your entire lifetime trying to survive it. And so now as we move into Tuesday, we're moving into 6 Queen of Clubs. Now, we began by identifying or by looking at these masks. But now the Queen of Clubs is like, okay, here I am, this beautiful queen, this queen that understands when to take action, that understands the value of who she is, that understands that she can express herself without fear, that understands that people will fall away as they choose because it is their choice, and that's okay. And from this, we are now looking at where we are identifying ourselves, right? Where we're looking at the nuances. For some, and I know I have myself included, right? In the past, I identified myself with having a partner, right? I didn't see that having a partner was an option. I was looking to have a partner as a definition to what? To be what success was, to have a partner so that I could have my kids, to meet the standards of society. When we look at your bank account, the amount of money that is in your bank account does not attribute to your own value. And so it's noticing where you are focused in your own life, and you're using that, whatever it is that you're desiring, as something to fulfill something within, and where you may be identifying that, right? Being a parent does not mean that you are on this pedestal. Like, it's looking at all of these nuances and how we identify ourselves to be either more, to be within a hierarchy structure, to try to fit into a hierarchy structure, to notice where we are trying to meet the needs of a standard that are beyond what we actually truly desire. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. No, I love that, Martha. Releasing conditions for life, opening to abundance. Absolutely. And so this is our invitation. Our invitation is to see our wholeness, from our life, from our entirety, to see the wholeness that starts from within, that moves into the wholeness of our body, into the wholeness of our own emotional state, into the wholeness of our mental thinking, into our own spirituality, the wholeness of life itself. And so as we are starting to move through this journey where we are discovering this on Tuesday, we're moving into the acceptance of what is. As we see our life around us, as we are navigating the karma, because it's a karmic influence on Tuesday with this 6, we're seeing the karma, the decisions that we've made in the past are starting to come into form, where we are being invited to identify, to discover whether or not we like it. Do I like this dynamic that is happening in my partnership with my lover? We'll say, am I enjoying this dynamic that's happening in my relationship with my business? Do I like where my thoughts are carrying me? Am I letting those go that are just wanting to go? Or am I just trying to hold on to a life that no longer fits? And so in this energy with your key, the key is to act on behalf of it, not because you have to, but simply because it's your next inspired action to be true to you. Are you willing to be true to you? Will you be in integrity? Right? And so as you're moving through this journey, as you're looking at how you may be defining yourself through things that are outside of you, through conditions that are outside of you, you're being invited to come back to you, to see the wholeness of who you are, to see that you are more than what you are experiencing in life, and that you are the chooser of it. You are the chooser of your life. You are the chooser of your own experiences. We're moving into this place where we're leaning into a deeper sense of discernment. And so as you're coming into connection with others, per se, if I know what is true for me, and I'm having a conversation with, per se, Mocha, because I see her name here, and I'm having a conversation with Mocha, and Mocha and I are having this beautiful conversation that is full of depth, that is full of nuance, that is full of discovery. And yet there's something that she might be saying that does not feel true for me. Am I willing to stay with what is true for me, or am I willing and to discern that for myself, or am I going to fall in alignment with something that she may be saying that doesn't match? And I'm only using you as an example, Mocha, right? And so there's this beautiful opportunity to notice what's happening in the moment, And to notice, okay, I'm seeing this experience. Do I like this experience? No. Okay, then I choose to go in this direction. Oh, I'm having an experience at the mall and I'm seeing that it's really, really busy. I know that I need to get all of these gifts, and yet I'm feeling the heaviness here. I'm not having fun. And I know that there's a big list, but I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go home. I'm going to choose me. And so there's this willingness to discern for you, to choose you, to experience you, to choose joy in your life, to say hell yes to the things that you want to say hell yes to, and the willingness to say no, because you are your queen. And then we move into Wednesday. And Wednesday, we're moving into a full moon in Gemini. We're also moving into 1207. And so we're moving into 7 Jack of Clubs. Now I say 1207 because 1207 has a near and dear representation symbolism in my own life, because I saw 1207 twice a day for 2 years, which activated me into some immense growth, in some immense discovery of myself. And it was all inspired by, an ex-boyfriend. We broke up. His birthday was 1207. And after we broke up, every day, 2 years, I would see 1207. It would remind me of him. Now, it's Jack of Clubs. His initials were JC. And like, you just can't make this shit up. Like, this is an energy this day that is going to invite you to leap, to invite you to see through the illusions that you've created for yourself, the stories that you might have created where you are less than, where you can't be loved, where you're not enough, where you can't have the life that you're wanting to experience, where you need to have more in order to have it, where you are not willing to be in integrity with what it is that you truly want to experience. This is an invitation on this day. Like, this Wednesday feels like you are breaking through something big. There's going to be a revealing, and you're going to be invited to step in, step up, and go. And it may not necessarily happen on this Wednesday, but I'm going to imagine that there's going to be a revealing of something for everyone, whether it's big or small, but this revealing, whatever this revealing is happening, is going to inspire a great pivot, a great leap, should you choose. Because your thinking that day is that of, there's this, I know we experienced it last week. It was that line in the sand where you're like, I'm done. This feels like more of a throwing your cards up in the air, and I'm starting over. I'm going to let the cards fall where they may. This person wants to leave. This wants to shift in my business. This wants to happen in my life. Good. Let it happen. I'm going that way. And so it's it's this beautiful energy. Like, it feels like you see your potential and you just do it. And so there's this beautiful energy that once you decide to take it, you'll feel the peace, you'll feel the love for self, you'll feel the connection. Your key this day on Wednesday is to really notice, am I being the authority in my life? Am I allowing others' thoughts to cloud over mine? Am I allowing others' beliefs to shadow me? Am I feeling others' shadows? And am I falling for that? Am I falling for that illusion? Am I falling for that trick? Am I going in that direction? Or am I willing to stay true to who I am as I navigate this week and discover the truth, a deeper truth and sense of who I am, so that I can pivot, leap, trust in myself, and go. And so it's such an interesting energy this entire week. We're really and truly, you're invited to look at, okay, am I in the flow with my life? Where the flow can mean that things are falling away and I can just let them fall away so that it can create this space for what I truly, truly want. Because when you look at the things that are falling away, they really aren't a match. They aren't a match in the frequency. They aren't a match in some of the dynamics. They aren't a match in what you're actually truly desiring in your own experience. But it's this fear that holds us. It's this fear that keeps us in, well, it's better to have this than nothing. And so I'm going to invite you to play with that idea. Is it better to have something than nothing? Even if that something doesn't match? Are you willing to just let that go? Right? Yeah, beautiful, Martha. I love that. Yeah, so I'm curious. I'm curious to how you're feeling the energy. I'm curious if you're feeling that full moon, because I wouldn't be surprised. Usually we start to feel the full moon about a couple days before the full moon is actually experienced. Yeah, it feels like we are shifting. And remember that we're also in this Neptune energy, right? And this Neptune energy for the rest of the year is really this seeing through the veil. We are seeing the truth of ourselves. We're seeing the truth of what we've created. We're seeing the truth so it can come into just this simple acceptance, this acceptance of what is. We're letting go of this idea of, I used to say in the past, well, it's okay that I married my ex, because if I wouldn't have married my ex, then I wouldn't have these two children. Like, I wouldn't have my two girls. And so it's okay that I did, right? So there's a part of my ego that used to justify that it was okay that I did what I did back then, instead of listening to myself, because I received these two gifts. But I would have received these two magnificent gifts regardless. I didn't have to shame or blame or hurt myself in order to receive the gift. Does that make sense? Like, there's this this or that kind of energy that's wanting to fall away, that we could have had all of these experiences, like that it was okay that I married my ex. It's okay that I had that experience. It's okay that I learned through it, and I accept that. And I also fully receive the gift of these children, of these other experiences, that I was really just being pulled by my own essence. I was being pulled by my own spirit the entire time. But how I saw it, how I gauged it through my own mind, through my own limitations, through my own beliefs, caused my own suffering, right? And so I am curious, what questions do you have? What's rising up? I know last week we played with themes for people. Francine, I've been feeling like a change is going to have to come. I'm tired of giving and not receiving. Ooh, yeah. I love that. Beautiful. Martha, feeling big changes and fully aware of fear of losing myself and all I've gained by leaping forward to possibilities ahead of me. What can nurture? That's a question. God. Right. What can nurture, assist navigating this fear energy and keep me aligned to me? Good question. There's an interesting energy of like cutting off that I'm feeling, Martha. Like, as I look at it's interesting because as I look at your name, it's like there's a cutting off and the wall falls away. And so I'm not, let's see what the cards say, but there's this interesting, like, complete severing of an aspect of who you are. Oh, I want to say that Six of Hearts is your Pluto. Six of Hearts, your Pluto? Message that quickly. So Six of Hearts, fascinating. So as I feel into the Six of Hearts, as I'm experiencing it through your eyes, the way that you're experiencing the Six of Hearts is you're assessing your life. You're taking a look at your life, and you're like, okay, I need to sweep up here, and I need to do this over here, and I gotta do some stuff with my body, and I gotta do some stuff here with my food, and I gotta go and I gotta pick up the kids and play with the kids and do the things. And so you're assessing your life, and you're taking a look, and you're deciding what it is that you're really truly wanting to experience from it. But there's this. It's like the love is coming from outside of you. You're looking at that to look for the love, rather than noticing that this is just simply your experience of love. Like, this is it. You already have it. You don't need to look for it. You are it. Like, all of this that you're experiencing as feedback, but you're not seeing it as feedback. You're seeing it as like, you're seeing it as something that's already been created that you had no part of. Does that make sense? Like, there's an interesting distortion that's wanting to rise up and clear in how you're experiencing your life. You're experiencing it from the outside in. Now, I know that you've made some changes in your life and, of course, shifted through different perceptions, but there's just one thread. And the thread is with your kids. So the thread is with your kids, where you're identifying your experience with your kids, where their love, their experience is equated to a greater love that you have for yourself. And instead, can you just simply feel that greater love within yourself and allow them to have their experience? There may be times where they may be sad, or they may be hurt, or they may be in pain, and all of those things, but all of those things have no meaning to you. Meaning that they do not mean that you are a good mom or a bad mom, or a single mom or a capable mom or a valuable mom, any of those things. That can you just lean into, I am a fantastic mother. I'm a fantastic human. I am that. I'm all of that. I'm whole with that. And that they're having their own experiences where they're learning, where they're discovering, where they're playing, where they're creating. And you get to just simply be the model of that. Does that make sense? Yeah. And it, of course, it's your Pluto. Yeah. Because there's a shifting that's happening. So as you start to identify this and shift this idea, I feel like you're redefining motherhood, but you're redefining it from a space of I am me. And there's a shifting that's happening, of course, that there's going to be a release of how you've been identifying yourself as a mom, as a wife or an ex-wife, past relationships, how there's this thread that's wanting to be seen in how you connected with all of them from a place of going outside of yourself rather from coming from in here. And I can see like there's this societal, like wanting to meet society's standards. And so that's falling away as well. And this perception of trying to meet what that means, which is an illusion. And so in that, you're going to come into a deeper sense of who you are, of what it is that you're wanting to create, a deeper sense of yourself as this divine being. There's going to be a differentiation in how you connect with the body and how you experience the body. Like it feels like you're going to move through something, which I think is beautiful. Yeah. I hope that resonates for you. Samantha, I love that. I can have the dream gifts regardless. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, click. I'd love a card, please. Theme is relationship and independence. Yeah. All right. Samantha. Theme is relationship and independence. It's interesting as I'm feeling you. I'm not a doctor, but I'm tapping into the body. It feels like your spinal cord. It's not, but it feels like your spinal cord is bruised, and it's bruised up at the top, and it's like it's just kind of flaring, and it's black, and it's interesting. We'll see what the cards say. Yeah. So I don't know if you can feel it. I'm pretty sure you can feel it as I speak to it. And it's just radiating slowly. Excuse me. We're just moving energy. All right. So 10 of Diamonds. There's this fulfillment that's been wanting to show up in your experience. In fact, you've been experiencing the fulfillment of what you've been wanting. But there's this holding back that's happening, and I can feel it. It's this feeling that's in your spine. There's this holding back from experiencing all of it because there's this fear of, but what if that's it? What if there's no more? What if I can't have any more? What if it doesn't get better? What if this is it? Like it almost feels like you've hit this illusory glass ceiling in your life, and you're being invited to choose more. Are you willing to allow yourself to have more in the flow of your life? It almost feels, I can feel in your abdomen, there's like some decisions that you've made that you've not yet come into full alignment with. And so it's interesting because the awareness is down in your abdomen, and you have this awareness of what it is that you're wanting. You've made the decision and you're trying to commit to the decision, but you haven't yet felt the inspired action. The inspired action is still kind of brewing, is how it feels. And so this inspired action is about to rise up for you to express. And it's being held down by this fear that, this fear of, well, what if it doesn't show up? What if it does show up, but it completely changes my entire life? What if it does show up and I don't like it? What if it does show up and it hurts my feelings? Interesting. And it hurts my feelings. And so there's this, okay, well, are you willing to allow yourself to have it anyway? Are you willing to move through the fears? Because the fears are keeping it short. Like the fears are keeping it at bay when it's just right here on the surface, about to come into your experience more so. And are you willing to see through the fear to see that it's just an illusion? Does that make sense? And so this is happening in your relationship, yes. But I feel like your relationship and this independence is also in your outer experience with the material. Does that make sense? And so at the same time, you're looking at how you're making these connections, these mentations of, if my partner does the dishes, then this means this. If my partner takes the kids to hockey, then this means this. And if my partner sees, I don't know, like the beauty of me, then this means I'm value. Like there's these little things that are wanting to be snipped away, in where you're giving meaning to things that are holding you back from experiencing the fulfillment of it. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, because okay. As you start to shift these connections that you've made to, if this means this, and if this means this, and if this means this, then you're going to have a shift in your own mental thinking. There's going to be more clarity in what it is that you're actually wanting to experience in your relationship, in your dynamic. And you're going to notice where you're working harder than you have to in order to attain the relationship that you're discovering. Yeah, fascinating. So you're moving through a huge shift. I'm going to imagine that this is going to move with you until Wednesday, for the full moon, where there's going to be a great revealing. So just notice where you might be creating limitations. Notice where you're creating these connections that might not fit or serve, and allow yourself to simply receive from life. As you start to navigate these ideas, I can imagine that you'll be more open and free to receiving. Yeah. Okay. Heidi, I have had a lot of awareness around not holding on to something or someone just because I'm afraid something better won't come along. Oh, that's a great awareness. I love that. Yeah. Francine. All right. All right. I can feel there's some energy rising up through your throat from your heart. And so we're just going to invite that to open up. I can feel the sadness that's rising up underneath it. And so we're going to allow the sadness to rise up as well. And under there's some grief that's wanting to arise. And so we simply allow the grief to rise up. And just create some space in the body. All right. So as you're navigating this journey of self-love, and it feels like you're embarking on this spiritual journey back to self, you're starting to see the truth of who you are. You're starting to navigate the expression of this truth out in the world, and you're being celebrated. You're being celebrated. You've made all of these changes. You've made all of this discovery. You've connected to community. You've connected deeply to self. And in this, it's allowed these changes that are happening alchemically within the body. And so we're feeling that there's a shift that's happening on a cellular level through the body, which is happening emotionally, physically, mind, body, spirit. We can feel that you are raising the frequency within your own self, and that you're making all of these new decisions. You've moved beyond your box, per se. You have discovered that there is no box. And so your invitation is to celebrate yourself on this journey. Come into gratitude for yourself. It feels like sometimes you're a little bit hard on yourself on this journey. Oh, I didn't get it. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, all of these things. But part of this journey is this nurturance of self. It's nurturance of the mind. You're shifting these mental conditions that have been with you for a lifetime, if not more. And you're doing it. And you're doing this extraordinarily well. And so keep on going. Yeah, I can feel your guides, like your guides are with you. I feel like it is. I feel like your father is coming through. He's showing up as the King of Hearts, which is beautiful. Yeah, he's like, you are held. You are held as you continue to move through this journey. You are adored. You are loved. You are celebrated. It's so good. And the result, I feel like the result is you coming into a deeper sense of discernment, choosing more of this, choosing more of this exploration, choosing more of this discovery of yourself, choosing to love yourself in such a way that you can't help but see your life is changing. And so you're seeing changes happening in your life that are, it's not accelerated now, but it does feel like it will come into this accelerated momentum. But in that accelerated momentum that will come forth, I feel like 3 weeks, maybe beyond, there's going to be this deeper sense of, this deeper invitation for you to choose you, choose you, choose you as you come into connection with others. It almost feels like, as you come into, it feels like holiday time, right? Like Christmas, as you start to connect with those in your family, you'll have these great experiences that will allow for you to see you, how you saw yourself, how you used to experience yourself, and a deeper invitation for you to just continue to choose you, choose you, choose you, love you, be you, express you, see your value, all of those things. And so I love that for you. It's beautiful. Oh, we did that. Danielle, hello. How are you? Card, please. I'm just going to check and see if you gave me some sort of indication as to what you wanted your card pulled for. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, okay. More fell out. Two of spades. As I'm tuning into you, it's the two of spades is inviting in a invitation to deepen your own connection to source, to your essence, to your wholeness, to your whole being. It feels as though for the last little while you've been more focused on the material, and of course we just moved out of the diamonds energy, and so that could be why. But it feels like you spent some time experiencing life where you saw life and that's what it was. Like you saw, I don't know, you saw your horses and you interpreted your horses to be this, or you saw your stable and you saw the mess, or you saw what needed to be cleaned up and you saw it as what it is. And there hasn't been any greater intention to create more. And so the two of spades is like, okay, come back in and remember the essence of you. Remember that you are here to create experiences. Notice around you that you've created the life that you want, that you've desired, and are you willing to ask for more? Are you willing to be inspired into more? Are you willing to play with more? Are you willing to remember your spirit? Are you willing to remember that the world is here to play with you? The universe is here to play with you. Are you willing to bring back in the innocence of who you are, the innocence of this, the purity, the reason for being? And so the two of spades is inviting in this deeper connection to yourself, to with spirit, to life itself, to your wholeness in all aspects of your being, right? Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. And as you come into a deeper connection, I feel like you'll land into a deeper sense of what it is that you're wanting to experience, what it is that you're wanting to create. Right. Because the King of Clubs is your result. And so the King of Clubs, if you were here earlier on, I was speaking to how the King of Clubs is, he's assessing, he's looking at his kingdom. He's seeing everything that he's created. He's leading by example, not by having power over. He is knowing when to ask for support. He's knowing when to ask someone to take an action. He's knowing when to take an inspired action. He is master of his mind, his focus, his intention. He's also master of his own frequency. And so he's in deep integrity with what it is that he is desiring. And so I feel like in coming into a deeper connection to you, the essence of you, to you as the divine, to you as the creator, you'll come into a deeper sense of what it is that you're wanting to experience so that you can take those inspired actions to have that experience in your life. And it feels like this is going to happen quick for you. So I'm curious to see what you're playing with. Yeah, what you're playing with now, what you're doing, what you're experiencing in the world, which is fun, right? Martha, yes, that makes total sense. I feel this great awareness on a deeper level than I've ever had regarding my love and value from within. Not just knowing it, but feeling it. I've never been where I am now with such deep shift of self. Six of Hearts was a card you pulled for me in my dream last week and told me this is important, right? Yeah. Oh, I love that. Nine of Spades, my Saturn and my daughter. Ooh, that's beautiful. Mocha. I would love a card. I received a fun, exciting message today, and the ideas keep flying in my mind, but I find my patience is a thread that I sometimes don't have, as I want all the things now. In this instance, patience will be key as things develop. Absolutely. But I also feel like I'm jumping on a million lily pads and not feeling where to quite land. Yeah. Ooh, I can feel your throat. So let's just invite in your throat to open. I can feel your excitement. Excuse me. Okay. Four of Spades. So it's funny. So the Four of Spades is like, I'm feeling the Four of Spades up here. Like usually when I feel the Four of Spades or any of the fours, I always think of it as a box, right? I feel it as a box. Sometimes Four of Diamonds, it is a box. We're standing on the box. We're being with the box. But the Four of Spades, the box is up here and the box is illusory. And the Four of Spades is like, Mocha, you have no control over the divine. You have no control over the flow, over how things are going to move on behalf of you, how things are going to move through you. Though, yes, you do, Q. But there's this, like, it's like, allow the divine to play with you. Invite yourself to be willing, to be patient, to allow yourself to be and drawn in. Like, it's an interesting, like, be drawn into the energy of what it is that you want to experience and let the divine play. You understand the laws, you understand the universal laws. Yes, you play with it, you've embodied with it, you live life through it. And the universe, the Four of Spades, is like, we just want to surprise you. We want to play with you. We want to experience with you. You lucky one, you have this body, this form that gets to experience the emotions, that gets to experience the material. You get to play with life in all of its luxury and all of its pain and suffering. And we, the divine, the universe, we play with you. We experience it through you. We experience it with you as you feel your joy, as you feel your pain, as you feel your patience, as you are playing with the tangible. And so allow us to have that experience rather than trying to control it. Yeah, like, so are you willing to be with this information, this message that you received today, to play in the energy of it, to cue it, and to allow that to develop, to decide to decide that you will be patient and allow all of the other little lily pads. Like, there's no FOMO here. Like, you're not going to miss out on the other lily pads that are there. But to know that the Four of Spades will direct you, it will lead you to your next. It's not your job to know how, and you know that. And so with playing with the universe, the divine, let that 99% play with you, to inspire you, to guide you, to journey with you to your next step. Because your result is the Nine of Clubs, which is this fulfillment. And so this fulfillment does feel like, as you come into this journey, you're moving through the divine timing of it, and you will receive your how. You will receive the how, the next and the next and the next and the next, that will lead you to it. You will discover the pivots, you will discover the changes, you will discover the magic as we start to bring this into convergence with you. You will see the things. And so I feel like your mind is going to experience this creation in a new way, which it's going to help you to, like, discover. I feel like you're going to discover these nuances. You're going to discover these, like, this deeper sense of understanding the laws in such a way that you can't help but fall in love with it even more. Does that make sense? And so simply decide you will be patient and be in it and allow it, and do all that thing. Do all that, right? Play with that. Play with the divine. Allow the universe to play with you. Wanda, I feel I am in a big shift. Woke up this morning and feel like I've been run over by a truck. Super tired, headache, and vibrational hum in my head. Any guidance from the cards in surrendering and allowing the shift to happen? Yeah. King of Hearts. All right, King of Hearts. So I can feel as I can feel you, and I can feel all the shifts that are happening, and all the shifts are happening here in the head, in the ears, in the throat, in the heart. It almost feels like there's this congestion that's happening back of the head as well. And so I'm going to invite you. The King of Hearts is like, okay, just sit back, take a deep breath in, relax. And we're going to invite in the transmutation to take place by inviting in the law of grace. And just notice what happens as you invite in the law of grace, to invite in grace. There are changes that are happening within your own mind, within your own personality, that you don't have to worry about. They're simply just changing. And so the King of Hearts is saying things are transmuting and changing within your own personality, within your own ideas and beliefs, just like that. And as you allow yourself to be in grace, as you allow yourself to just simply be with the feeling and not identify with it, right? We don't need to identify with the headache, or with, ooh, I feel busy, or with any pains that we may be experiencing in the body, that we can simply allow it to move. We can be curious about it. We can be curious whether or not we need to support it. And yet at the same time, what's happening here is you're shifting your identification from the pain body, from the emotional body, into a deeper sense of the essence of who you are that's flowing through you always. And so taking an opportunity to just surrender into grace, to be with it, will allow the shift to happen. Notice where the mind wants to identify with what's happening, and just come back into the breath, come back into you, come back into all is well. All is well. I am transforming, I am shifting, I am transmuting, all is well. And allow that to just continue to move through you. And to hear, the body will give you a message. Oh, Wanda, go sleep. Oh, Wanda, go lie down. Oh, Wanda, go walk. Oh, do this. And yeah, and just trust that. And it feels like there's this amplification of one, the expression of you, of the value of who you are, of there's this invitation to celebrate these changes that are happening, this great big shift that is happening in your life. It feels like all of these things are starting to fall in together from your own alignment, based on your own alignment and your own frequency. So I love that. There's also this celebration, like I'm feeling like a celebration of like dynamics and relationships are changing, not even just in your personal relationships, but within your family dynamics, grander scheme, within your community. Who you are in the world is changing. And so I celebrate you in that. All right. I realize that we are over. And so thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your energy. Yeah, I'm curious to see how the full moon will be experienced for you. And so please share. Please share if this resonated for you, how this landed. And know that if you are here in this space, that many of the channeling that came through may be connected with you as well, right? And so if you weren't here for the entire call, go back and check it out from the beginning and shift. All right. Lots of love for everyone. I'll see you in the spaces. Yeah, Mocha. Play, play, play. You're welcome. Bye for now.